Then with
Death by Music.
I'm talking to.
Hi, I'm Heidi. Hey, I'm Carla. And we're in Butcher Babies.
There you go. Cool, definitely. I guess the first question is from the start of the pandemic till now. Now, you guys have got your hands into a lot of stuff, but how trying was it? How hard was it to adapt? Because you don't know the future of what you're going to be on tour or what's going to happen.
We still don't really know the future. We're taking it day by day. And I think when everything first happened, we obviously we thought it was just going to be a couple of months, and so did the rest of the industry. In fact, we had rescheduled dates like in July of 2020.
Right.
Clearly, none of those happened. But as musicians, we do wake up in a new city almost every day. So part of what we do is adapting. And so when it came down to learning how to navigate our careers in the pandemic, it was kind of a fast shift, and realized that content is king. And Twitch and talking to fans in a different way became kind of the go-to. A lot of the industry put a hold on releasing music, including ourselves. We waited about 6 months to release a song that we were planning on in April that year. But all in all, I think for both of us, and I can probably successfully say this for most of the band, is we're actually kind of grateful that we had that time to kind of rejuvenate. I guess was a break we didn't know we needed. We got it.
Yeah.
But we're glad to be back. I mean, we didn't want a whole year and a half by all means, but
definitely.
We did get to kind of take a step back, and we're really grateful for our careers. And I think that, when you do something for 10 plus years, sometimes it becomes mundane. And then, when it's all taken away from you, you realize, I've worked my whole life for this. It's not mundane. Every day that we're able to get on stage is the best day of our lives. So we definitely learned a lot.
As far as like a big band like you guys, obviously this is going to change the way you guys do things, I guess, for a long time, as far as like adapting to what's going on.
Yeah, well, as Heidi said, we really don't know what the future looks like as far as touring, as far as releasing albums. So we just take each day in stride and see what comes our way, and hope for the best, and hope that one day we can tour without worrying about, we have to cancel a week of shows somewhere along the way, etc. Or we wanted to go over to Europe at some point, but we can't because the borders are closing again. So it's
we had a tour in November planned for Europe, and that got canceled yesterday. So
we just hope that, again, just maybe 6 months from now things will be different. Maybe 3 months from now things will be different. And if not, we'll figure it out.
You have to adapt.
Yeah,
absolutely. You did release a new single a while back. How's that going?
We've released 5 different singles.
Well, yeah.
In a year, we released a brand new single, It's Killing Time, Baby, a week ago.
Right. Yep.
Yes, and
it's going bananas on the internet. We're so excited. It's already got over 200,000 plays in a very, very short time. And hopefully more. So if you guys are out there listening, play it on repeat all day long. It's such a fun song. We've actually been playing it live the last week that we've been out on tour, and I think that all of us have think it's one of the funnest songs we've ever written. It's so much fun.
It definitely brings the fun back in. On this tour, we're playing our first album, which is a very serious album, and since then we've released a lot of songs that are super fun, and it's a party, and everyone's invited, and then with the new song, we kind of brought it back to that. So it's a nice relief from all the serious songs we're playing on this tour to, bring the fun back.
It's funny. I think that in the beginning we were defined by, our material being very serious. And then we started writing songs like Pomona, and that's who we are as people. Monsters Ball, we don't take ourselves too seriously, but like to get up there and have a good time. Every night's a party. Yeah. And, I don't think anyone should take themselves that seriously. And these new songs, we definitely feel like they really speak to who we are.
We were nervous about releasing this song because it's about a comic book character, Lobo. He's a heavy metal bounty biker dude, and space alien, and it's very tongue in cheek, the song, and so we were a little bit nervous about it, but it kind of just goes the success that it's had right out of the gates is kind of a it kind of shows that our silly shit does do well. It does, sometimes the more serious stuff that we pour our heart and souls into, we have that niche crowd that likes us, but this silly stuff, a lot of people really gravitate towards that. I mean, I do. So
Definitely.
yeah.
As far as when do you think you're gonna release a full album? Is it coming soon, or you think it is?
Fun. We're having fun kind of doing it this way, single by single. One thing that we were really bummed about with our last full length album is there were some songs on there that we really, really put a lot of time and energy and emotions into, and it ends up being like a track 8, and we don't want to write any filler tracks. We want everything we put our stamp on to give it our all. And so we get to give every single song that we're releasing its own life. And I think that the songs deserve that. So we're kind of just taking a page out of the hip hop playbook and just doing singles right now. It will culminate to a full album for sure.
Eventually.
We'll be able to get it all together with the artwork and all that fun stuff. But right now, we're really having fun giving these songs their own.
I think a lot of bands are doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I see a lot of bands doing that, just releasing singles and doing that.
Yeah, it's fun for us too. It's fun. We get to really dive into the release and really, give it its own merch, give it its own everything, its own artwork, its own, like I said, breath.
Right.
So,
out of all the touring that you guys have done, what's your favorite place to tour at? What's
favorite place?
What place do you look at and be like, God, I want to go there? That was a blast.
Prague.
Prague is awesome. Gosh, that's a hard
Australia
question.
is really great.
Typically try to find something special about every single city
Right.
that we go to, even if it's just a great coffee shop where I can sit in for a little while in the morning and enjoy my morning, or a place with a great gym that we saw. There's a place in Buffalo that we go to that has like an awesome gym that I know is always going to be there. So there's something special about every place, and I think that
coming here to Sage, we really love seeing the mechanical penis next door. So
that's right. I remember last time you went, you were riding the damn thing. So
it's still there or not?
I have no idea.
I guess we'll find out after the show.
Definitely.
We definitely, as Carla said, there's different pluses about everywhere we go.
Oh, absolutely. As far as have you guys ever had like a favorite tour that you've been on or whatever, or played at like the festival and?
I mean, going to Europe and playing the big metal festivals over there is like an experience. Like,
how's that compared to U.S. festivals?
Ginormous.
That's what I've heard.
On a different level. The festivals here are a blast, and
right.
We love playing them. We're playing a lot on this run, but in Europe, you'll have like 50,000 people watching you, and
that's on a smaller stage. On like the bigger ones, it's like 200,000 people. You can't. It's people as far as your eye can see. And I remember watching, because we used to live in Los Angeles, and we would go to the Rainbow. We would see Lemmy at the Rainbow all the time. And then I remember we went to Wacken, which is in Germany.
Right.
And we went there as we were hosting a TV show in 2011. And we watched Lemmy, the guy you always see at the end of the bar, playing in front of 280,000 people. And it was a really incredibly inspiring thing to see. And most of these festivals here in the States don't their capacity's not that big. I know that Lollapalooza was just huge, but it's just a different experience.
It really is. I think that every band I've talked to or ever interviewed, even the people over in South America and stuff like that, are like, you got to go over to Wacken.
Yeah.
It's just, does it hit you sometimes, like being on stage, you look out and it's like a sea of people, you're like.
I remember one time we were just going in a Sprinter van, back-to-back shows, these festivals, and we were so tired and grumpy, and we didn't see what it looked like, from stage view. We were just behind stage, we had to hurry to get on stage.
Right.
So we walk out onto the stage, and this is one of those times when there's like 100,000 people there waiting for you, and we're like, oh my God.
There were catwalks, and
crazy.
We were right before ZZ Top, and it was insane. We walk out, and as far as your eye can see, there's people with their fists in the air, and it's something you dream about as a kid. when you want to do this, that's what you dream about. You dream about, people with their fists in the air chanting your lyrics. And we had just released Monster Call, and start the song "Can't Stop Moving." We're in France, and it's like just fists in the air, and they're yelling at us in English. And it was
the other thing too, it's like when you're in Europe and the people that are singing your lyrics back to you, or when English isn't their first language, but they're still singing along every word. That's such a powerful thing.
I would think it would be. I think it'd be just tremendous. I know I talked to a couple big artists, like even Corpse Grinder, and I asked him, and he goes, "It took my breath away."
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll literally take my breath away. He goes, "I have to step back a minute."
Yeah.
He goes, "I just can't." All the sea of people, and they're singing our lyrics and doing their thing, and it was just like unreal. Two last questions. What's your favorite album growing up? What was one album that you went to that was your album? Like,
my favorite album growing up would 100% be Tragic Kingdom, by no doubt.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
And it's not the metal album that got me. It's not a metal album. It didn't get me into metal. It didn't do any of that kind of stuff. The thing about that album, what it did for me, is I was a young girl I grew up in Provo, Utah, where I didn't have. My parents didn't let me listen to rock or anything, and then I saw Gwen Stefani, and I remember seeing the music. I snuck in my basement in the middle of the night, and I turned on MTV because I wasn't allowed to watch MTV either. And I remember seeing the music video for Spiderwebs, and Gwen Stefani just had this insane presence. And to me, I was like, that's where I want to be. Now, if you want to go like metal, of course, like Slipknot's self-titled album and that kind of stuff. But I'd say the most influential for me as a performer would be no doubt Tragic Kingdom.
I'd say for me it was Appetite for Destruction. First time I heard Welcome to the Jungle, I was hooked on rock and roll. Before that, I just listened to what my parents listened to, and that was the first band that I really loved, which changed my life and made me want to play music.
And what was the very first concert you've ever seen?
New Kids on the Block.
Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
Thanks, Mom.
My second was Megadeth, so there's that.
There you go. Well, thank you for doing the interview. I want to say I've seen Slayer 18 times. I've seen a lot of bands a lot of times, and you're third on the list. I don't know why or how, but for some reason, I'm a big fan of you guys, and I've seen you from the very early days to now, and see you progressed. And to me, you've done it right. You're one of those bands that it's not like you're part of the clique, but you didn't really have anybody pushing you or helping you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did it on your own. And I've watched throughout the years, and I'm just a nobody. I'm just some dude, but I've seen you, it is, but I've seen you play in very shitty places, but then I've seen you play with Megadeth and play different places. I've traveled quite a ways to see you guys play with different bands and whatever like that. I'm not a super fan, but like I said before, I admire what you do, and I respect what you do. Highly grateful.
That means a lot. That really does.
And it's like I've interviewed you before, both of you, and I've always been a fan, but I have more respect for you guys than anything. Like, I've seen a lot of bands. I've talked to a lot of people, and out of all the years, you two and your whole band is kind of an inspiration to a lot of people, and I think you guys...
We need to hear that sometimes.
Well, through this pandemic, like I said, you guys have done, like, you're working out, and you've got your art and painting, and, and you've got your podcast and all this other stuff. Yeah. Both of you got your stuff, but you continually kept on going. You haven't stopped. Yeah. And a lot of these guys have stopped. I've seen a lot of bands disappear, and through this whole BS shit that we went through, I've lost a lot of people, and we've gone through a lot of crap. But as far as a band, my personal opinion, just me being me, just being a fan or whatever, like I am, it's just like you guys have progressively grown, and it is what it is. It's just, you deserve way more than what you got.
Well,
I'm just going to say that 100%. I'm not trying to get anything. I just don't give a shit. I'm just saying.
Thank you so much. It's like, we can sit here and think that all the live long day, but we appreciate the support. And honestly, like, it's not even just like the support. Those words really do mean a lot to us.
Because it's like, the pandemic was hard for everybody. I almost lost my business. If it wasn't for her, I would have been shit out of luck. Doing interviews. Nobody wanted to do a damn interview. Nobody wanted to do anything during the pandemic because they didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
But every day, you guys progressively, and I would see you on my news feed with other metal people, whatever like that. And I'm not lying. You were you two were the first people that were just like, it seemed like you were doing something.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand why more bands didn't do that. More bands didn't do any of that. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of my opinion a little like that.
I'm glad that didn't go unnoticed. So thank you, because we definitely sat on the phone together, hours upon hours trying to think of things to do to keep, keep ourselves sane, but also keep ourselves seen too. So we appreciate
it. It is what it is, and we don't know what the future holds. We have no idea. So hopefully this will be a little bit better, and hopefully we'll adapt as human beings to we need music in our lives, and I'm glad that this is our first concert since we've been to sporting events, we've been all sorts of stuff.
Yay!
This is our first concert back, and I got an interview with Nervosa coming up, so
I love that.
we'll go from there. But thank you very much.
Well, thank you.